All right. Well, welcome to the Pennsylvania State Capitol. We've got a great view. We've got some of our friends, local friends here in Pennsylvania. My name's Fred Wellman. I am a 22-year Army veteran, four-time combat deployed veteran. Started off as an aviator, ended up being a speaker. We're here with VoteVets. For those who don't know, VoteVets represents over 1.5 million veterans, military members, families. And how he actually just hates us. In 2024, we aim to ensure in Pennsylvania. Why are we in the front capital of Pennsylvania? Well, beyond the electoral reasons, obviously it's a swing state. Pennsylvania has an incredible military history and veterans community. On the Capitol grounds that we're meeting on today, there are actually 9 different monuments surrounding this Capitol to veterans and military members who served honorably throughout Pennsylvania. Across the Commonwealth, there are nearly 800,000 military veterans and a home of 300,000 wartime veterans. 76% of Pennsylvania's veterans are over the age of 55. The Commonwealth has the 4th largest veterans population in the country. More than 19,000 Pennsylvania men and women serve in the National Guard, and 38,000 of them deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, and the global war on terror. So Pennsylvania has a noble and rich military history. And we stand here in the Capitol less than 40 miles from Gettysburg, the nadir of the Civil War, the high point of the Civil War, where we defeated that conflict, defeated Lee, sent him packing, in the shadow of men like Joshua Chamberlain, who stood boldly on the hill and charged downward. But then there's Donald Trump. His hatred towards veterans and military families is extensive and well documented. He dodged the draft during Vietnam, saying he had bone spurs, and then claimed he had sexual transmitted diseases. Avoiding them was his Vietnam. He tried to kick vendors off of Fifth Avenue because it brought down the value. Vietnam veteran vendors off of Fifth Avenue because it brought the value of his Trump Tower down. Disgustingly, when he decided to run for office in July of 2015, he sat in the state. Got Purple Hearts that day. Of course, remember he refused to attend a ceremony honoring our World War dead because his hair would get wet. He said he always wanted a Purple Heart. He just got another one from a Vietnam vet. Recently, he claimed getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the award given to celebrities and campaign donors, is better than the Medal of Honor because those recipients are often dead or wounded. He gave those out like candy at the end of his administration. It's easy to forget. Donors got them. Rush Limbaugh got them. He gave 6th in a secret ceremony because he was so embarrassed by it, he didn't even do it in public. And of course, just last month, he went to Arlington National Cemetery where he attempted to film a partisan video in Section 60. And something I say often for a lot of us who served in the global war on terror. Section 60, we're about 1 to 2 degrees separation of someone in Section 60 when you served in the global war on terror. That's where our honored dead from our war the last 20 years are buried. And Donald Trump went there and smeared it. His staff got in a fight with one of the Arlington staff who were just trying to protect that hollow ground. That's what he thinks of us. And let's not forget what he did as president. Chaos at the VA. People forget the Mar-a-Lago 3, the infamous fake advisory board that were his buddies from his beach club. The actual secretary, the second largest cabinet agency, had to report to three of Donald Trump's buddies in an illegal advisory board while they were trying to get government contracts. He engineered the debacle in Afghanistan by negotiating directly with the Taliban, excluding the Afghan government. He released 5,000 Taliban prisoners without coordinating with the Afghan partners. He reduced our troop levels to an unsustainable 2,500 men and women, and then set a withdrawal deal with the Taliban before he ever left office that was under Biden's watch. And let's not, of course, forget January 6th. January 6th, an attack on our government. Just today, a news story came out that Trump has had at least 7 secret calls with Vladimir Putin, the enemy of our country, who's tried to undermine our elections, spread disinformation. That's who Donald Trump cares about. On the other hand, we've got Tim Walz and Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket. I mentioned Tim Walz first in this case because he's a veteran like us. Tim Walz, after his service in the National Guard, went on to be the ranking member of the House Veterans Affairs Committee, where he engineered things like the modern GI Bill and 100 other things that matter to veterans. He was called one of the top veterans advocate in Congress during his time in Congress. Kamala Harris has overseen time in the Biden administration with the fielding of the PACT Act, a Democrat-written bill that expanded healthcare, the largest healthcare expansion since Vietnam, that has added over 1 million veterans to the rolls of the VA since its implementation 2 years ago. That's what Democrats, that's what Kamala Harris and the Biden-Harris administration have done. But here's the real danger. What happens if Donald Trump wins again? And that's what you've all heard about, Project 2025. He'll wield the power of the commander-in-chief to fire whatever flag officer he wants. I didn't even mention earlier, did you know that the Department, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Department of Defense actually assigned an officer to monitor Donald Trump's Twitter feed because he was issuing so many orders via Twitter that they had to monitor it, to include when he banned transgender service members from service, to include when he fired the Secretary of Defense by tweet. We actually had to assign a serving military officer to monitor the Commander-in-Chief's Twitter feed because that's how he issued orders. Expect more of that. He's going to replace people just with temporary assignments. They reduce the Senate vote to get his loyalists into power. They'll use their authority to dismantle programs like diversity and roll back standing policies that made the military an institution that welcomes everyone, a diverse military, as you see from our back here. Fourth, Project 25 aims to inject rank the troops with radicalized, loyal MAGA troops to include general officers at the very height of our line. His goal is clear. He's going to remake the culture of the armed forces, and then he turns his ire on the veterans' health care. He'll privatize our veterans' health care into a for-profit system. They'll reduce the time our doctors get to spend time with veterans. In Project 2025, they actually talk about they want the time a doctor sees a veteran to match those of a service member. Now think about it for a second. The average age of a person in the service is 19 to 20. The average age of a veteran, as you may see from this group behind me, is a little grayer. You know, we're a little more senior than kids in the Army. We need more time with the doctor because I'm just standing here, my back hurts. You know, those are the kind of things he wants to do. They're going to privatize. They're going to target disability ratings so veterans won't get their benefits. They want to only give medical care to benefits those things that a veteran got in service. So now veterans won't just get their whole life health care from the VA. They'll also have to have private health insurance to get it from the civilian sector as well. You know, because there's different things for different medical problems. All those things will happen. We'll replace, and of course, the most dastardly for me is Schedule F. Schedule F is the idea of replacing the current GS system, the government service system, with loyalists. Schedule F means they can be fired. Any government employee can be fired for any reason. They've outly said in speeches if they gave donations to a Democrat at some point, they can be fired from their government job. Doctors, nurses, physicists, science, the people who plan our deployments overseas, all those things. Not to mention hundreds of thousands of veterans who've served honorably and are members now of the government will lose their jobs simply for not being loyal to the MAGA thing. And the thing is, a lot of people say, well, it's just going to be Dems get kicked out. No, they've already targeted certain jobs. Everybody's a target. If you're not MAGA enough for them, they'll kick you out of your job. So that's what we face, and that's why we're on the road. That's why we're in Pennsylvania. We started off, for those who don't know our bus tour, our bus is back here. We started off in New York City for the vice president's debate. We moved from there down to Virginia Beach when J.D. Vance showed up for a fundraiser. He got to see our bus and a wave from us, an actual wave. Then we moved down to Fayetteville, North Carolina, where Trump had a rally, which we stalked. Then we come up to Philadelphia if we had a meet and greet in Philadelphia. Now we're here in the state capitol. We'll be spending most of the week here in Pennsylvania from now on. all over the state, from Scranton to Reading to Pittsburgh to Johnstown. We will be there. So look for our bus. Look for those of us who are on it. Look for our sign up on votevets.org to join us. You can join. You'll get emails when we're in your town. We'd love to have you join us. But the reason we're here is for one reason. We are 28 days from one of the most important elections in the history of this country. And the key to that will be rejecting Donald Trump, rejecting his bad policies, rejecting the history that he gave us already, and making sure we move forward with Kamala Harris and, of course, our retired senior NCO, Tim Walz. That's the future that we believe in. That's why VoteVets is out here fighting for veterans. I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything like that, but that's what we want to see you real quick. We appreciate everybody's time coming out today. Without any questions, I think I'm pretty much there. Anything else? Did I forget anything? Great, team. All right, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. You okay? Great, Fred.
Excellent.
You said some before?